I have some crazy news to share. Last night, I actually got some pain relief with this guy right here, the Amanita Muscaria mushroom. I've been experimenting with these guys for about a year, and last night was the first time that I really was like, oh my gosh, I am having much less sensitivity and pain in every way you could measure it. So I've been picking these mushrooms, drying them, and making tea out of them or making other things out of them for a long time. And I've just been experimenting and going up with my products. And here's why. Muscimol is the chemical compound in the Amanita muscaria mushroom that we want. And there is a lot of research on it. And it's talked about as a treatment for nerve injury related neuropathic pain. This is just one study, but there's plenty more if you want to do some research. So the Amanita muscaria mushroom has ibutenic acid, and you want to convert that to muscimol for purposes of pain. Ibutenic acid is a neurotoxin and it will make you very sick. And to convert it to muscimol, there's multiple different processes. Lowering pH and drying and heat will all do that conversion. I took these dried mushrooms where that would have already converted some of it, and then I boiled them for 3 hours. I simmered. So this isn't the how to make this video. I don't think I'm even going to make that because I don't want anyone to go and make this because I said so. I want people to do their own research. I spent literally a year practicing researching before I did this because it can make you sick. Anyway, after you boil them, you strain it out, and then I was measuring using this cup. I used 20 grams of dried mushrooms, and then I used 2,000 milliliters of water, and then at the end I added back water that had evaporated so that I could kind of get a dose of 100 milliliters, would more or less be like 2 grams of dried mushroom. So just kind of have a baseline, but you can't really, there's no science here. It's like more of an art because the mushrooms have different amounts. Each mushroom cap has a varying amount of ibutenic acid to convert to muscimol. And then it also depends on the altitude, the time of year, the region that they're growing in. So there's no hard science. And that's why you have to be very careful and take tiny amounts over time with the batch you made and see how it affects you. So the really interesting thing to me about last night being the first time it really worked, I took enough of an amount, I drank enough tea where I really felt something and I actually had pain relief. I mean, it wasn't like a magic bullet that made it go down to zero, but it was just like a significant reduction in the intensity of the burning and the pain and the intensity of the symptoms when I have like referred pain. Everything was just taken down by several notches. And the only other time I've had a substance do that is when I've had benzodiazepines like clonazepam. That's really the only medication I've tried in 3.5 years out of like every medication I've been given, every crazy treatment I've done where I've really noticed an actual reduction in pain. And so I go to the Wikipedia page to look at what muscimol is doing, and it's saying it's a potent GABA-A agonist, and what other substances do that. And, you know, in a different way, benzodiazepines also work on GABA-A. So there you have it. Apparently for me, for my neuropathic pain, substances that work as GABA-A agonists are apparently helpful to me. And that sort of explains why so many other things, like baclofen, for example, is working on GABA-B, doesn't help me. So before last year, or actually 2 years ago, I had never foraged wild mushrooms in my life. I'm now like an obsessive wild mushroom forager. And part of that is because of my chronic pain and me trying to find answers for myself. So this video is, please don't go out and start doing this without any background education. This is more of an example of how the insane lengths that someone with chronic pain would go to alleviate their suffering, and the degree to which medical doctors are not helping me at all. And I'm kind of being driven to psycho things like drinking tea from like poisonous mushrooms. At first, I thought they were poisonous. I was told otherwise by people on social media, and I just researched, started experimenting, and now I found a relatively safe way to work with these mushrooms.